What is up, YouTube? I'm Cordy here. I promised you guys part 2 on our metagame discussion breakdown on about 30 decks that you could be playing at any given time and losing with about 20 of them. So we have another interesting 5 lined up on the metagame scale today that are having a little bit of success right now and just kind of showing their ugly heads and ruining my format. That's what we live for these days. So let's dig on into the next 5 members, show some love on this, like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll probably have part 3 on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Let's dig into this, shall we? Alright, number 1 for this video is Traptrix. Who would have guessed? So you guys have heard me mention Traptrix 1, the little block Texas regional, and a deck that can kind of come out of left field and just deal 10,000 points of damage while having a nice, consistent amount of traps kind of flowing around, kind of doing what it wants to do. Also, Link 1s being generically good cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems relatively good to me, but alas, a lot of people have tried and failed with this deck. It's very interesting because Magical Muskets, I'll probably mention these in a later video, but like, they're very good on the Link 1 syndrome. They're definitely a deck you can top 38, top 42, top 50 something, a regional, relatively easy. These are the X3, X4 decks that you can find some success with, but to see Traptrix finally pull an undefeated record straight throughout the day, wow. Very impressive nonetheless. Now, is this something that you need to plan for? Is it something that you need to worry about if you go to a regional and you're like, oh man, I'm going to play 7 rounds? No, you're not going to play 7 rounds of Traptrix. Alright, you just have to generically understand that this is one of those decks that you should understand what to hit. You should understand what all the holes do in the game, network trap hole, chain hole, things like that. Understand that Sarah makes your other monsters have more trap immunity. The little things like this that you need to be aware of. Also, you can get 10,000 damage straight to the face out of left field. What a cheers to 10,000 damage. Straight over a Dingrisu. Almost lethal, by the way. So, it's little things like that we've come to know and love. Thank you, Traptrix and Magical Muskets. Love you guys too. Now, next up on this list is Pendulum Endymion. Now, I'm not going to mention, or we're not going to talk about Zephyr here. We're just going to talk about the Magical Citadel, the Company of Endymion, and putting these large monsters on the field that your opponent is just going to have to deal with the whole game. And when you start putting large monsters on the field, when you start accumulating these spell counters, it's very interesting. Now, the TCG has a ruling debate right now with Servant. If you ash it, certain people are saying that you can do it again. Certain people are saying that you can't do it again. It's a ruling nightmare. But ask your head judge for details. But that's that. But in terms of combo ability, in terms of the explosiveness of what the deck does, Combo Pendulum is fantastic at what it does. Stop the Electromite. Beating the deck is easy as 1, 2, 3. Now, when you start getting in, I think the Guard Dragon version of the deck is pretty much dead now since we put down Aggro Pain. You can still do things. It's not as consistent as it once was. Endymion is by far the best build for the deck, like 150%. But at this point in the format, Pendulum's taken the severe backseat. It's still going to be there. The deck is pretty much like, you should be able to top 16 a regional with Pendulum, as long as you know what you're doing. The deck's greatest weakness is itself, quite literally. Like, I've seen more bricks come out of this deck than Monarchs, and it's really saying something. Also, the fact with the current check on the list, like, not drawing certain scales can just ruin your day. So there's that. Now, next up over here in the back of the bleachers, we have the True Draco players. Now, True Draco is the deck that everybody makes fun of in the format. I know. Sorry, guys. I gotta be that guy right now. It's that deck that is super easy to play. and you have so literally you have so many things that you can do with the deck just by activating card demise. Like literally just set tribute, go on with your day. It's so easy. It's like, oh, I drew demise. Things that you want to do to beat True Draco. Hold the Ash Blossom for the card demise. Oh wait, your opponent opened up Inspector Border. Oh well, that's a real shame. Now, you've also got True Draco Sky Striker, which I don't even consider to be a real deck at this point, but the deck it's sitting there in the back of the room. It's smiling, it's grinning. The last format, True Draco Sky Striker, was really good because you could search for multiple Widow Anchors, which would put additional negates on the field, which just make your worst matchups even better. Like, you'd be able to round out some of the worst things. Well, can't really do that as much anymore, but you have to understand you can still do it. Like, True Draco, being able to just drop off your spells through tributing and things like that, and then resolving extra draw power is really what the whole deck's premise was meant to do. It's what Engage actually says. It says, do all your combo pieces, and then draw an extra extender after searching Widow Anchor for the negate. So, both Pure and Sky Striker variant, both being very good decks. The downside to the format right now is Pure is 100% by far the best call. Extra deck build being a little bit better than extra deckless, strictly in my opinion. Thanks, 3 different variants to the same deck. Now, we also have Infernoid on this list. Now, Lair Infernoid is quite the hilarious deck, especially against Orcust. If I was an Infernoid player, cheers, I guess. If I was an Infernoid player and I played against nothing but Orcust after Orcust after Orcust, and all I would deal with all day long is my opponent trying to put their pieces in the graveyard, then I'd be playing Infernoid, because you stick an Infernoid on the field with Lair, and you can distribute your opponent's Orcust card, banish their Nightmare from the graveyard. Banish that key piece that they need to do combo. Bada bing, bada boom. It's just straight gonzo. So, a deck that looks to not interact with the opponent in the same way the Orcust is trying to do. Kind of funny. Also, Imagination Station being one of the most broken cards in the game. Free drop 6, bring out Tiara, mill off your opponent's extra deck, and just feast on and just blow through multiple cards. Multiple chain links. Oh, so good. But, what else was there? Actually, I think it's just been, outside of like ratios for Void Feast and whatnot in the current deck, Infernoids are pretty much the same. I was going to say, like, we had Sky Striker and Infernoid a couple lists back, which was really cute, by the way. Talk about a statistical nightmare. But the way that deck was shaping up, Pure Infernoid Lair is probably the best anti-meta pick that you can. Especially if you're going into an event that's going to just play nothing but Orcust after Orcust after Orcust. Your Sky Striker matchup isn't so... I mean, hey, hitting Array is really good, I guess. Your opponent only gets 3 of them things, so just having to deal with less of them seems so free to me. Like, I guess we take that. And then the last deck I'm going to talk about here is Mystic Burn. Now, for those of you that forgot, or like to have forgotten, Mystic Burn still exists. Mystic Mine is still a card in this format. And you know what that means? You still need to know what you're doing against it. But the format has actually naturally checked the engine at this point. It's quite hilarious, actually. We have triple Cosmic Cyclone, literally in like everything, right? Actually, it's like 2 Cosmic Cyclone and everything, but we're not playing MSTs. We're not playing Twins. Well, some people are playing Twins at the moment, but Cosmic Cyclone is just the card that you activate it, and you're like, haha, Metaverse is at 1 at this point, which means that Mystic Mine's combo potential, straight down in the gutter. But, like I said, doesn't mean that players aren't still trying to play the deck, doesn't mean that it's still not doing well. You just kind of have to understand at this point that the deck will be showing up at regionals. It will be about the X2, X3 bracket. You'll start running into Mystic Burn, and you're just going to be like, oh, here we go again! Yay! Mystic Mine! The sound of every player in the world ever And then True Draco just goes, yay! Tribute. GG. And there's a reason why action spells exist. True Draco just literally shards on fucking our boy, Mystic Burn. It's quite hilarious. So, that is our format, really in a nutshell. Like I said, we got about 20 more decks to talk about. So, guys, if you comment down below, tell me what you guys think. What are the next 5 that you guys want Robbie to talk about? I already know that Blue Eyes will be mentioned multiple times over. Can't wait. Normal summon beat stick. Attack. Alright, guys, Rob, peace.
The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.